start recording, and I would like to demonstrate my presentation. But I would like to stop the video here because of some network connection issues. So I guess we have to start, not to waste our precious time, right?
Well, it's up to you. That's why I asked if people have RSVP'd.
I think we have to start, and then they will be added immediately. Yeah, they answered everything. So, добрый вечер, уважаемые коллеги. Рада приветствовать вас на нашей первой встрече, посвященной знакомству с организацией iatefl и предстоящей конференции в Брайтоне, которая пройдет с 16 по 19 апреля 2024 года. Давайте обратим внимание на нашу адженду, на нашу программу, которая сегодня у нас будет. Окей. Сегодня наш вечер пройдет с замечательными людьми, которые поделятся своим опытом. So this is Caterina Skiniotou. She is a member of, she's a representative of CIG, Special Interest Group in Learning Technologies, and this year she was a speaker at that conference. And also we have Mr. Adrian Tennant, who are in charge of scholarships at that conference as well. So please welcome.
Thank you for having us, Julia. I would like to say hello to our audience.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm sure that my colleagues will be also happy to see all of you. So thank you for spending your precious time in us. So this is our agenda. So this is what we're going to talk, what we're going to cover during this meeting. Так что, уважаемые коллеги, как вы поняли, у нас здесь будет два языка. Определенная информация будет представлена как на русском, так и на английском языке. В конце у нас секция идет question and answers, то есть вопрос-ответы, где вы можете задавать на двух языках. Если где-то понадобится помощь, я без проблем переведу. Прежде чем мы начнем, давайте поговорим об определенных, скажем так, правилах, чтобы действительно мы не теряли свое время. Первое, это, конечно же, be polite and respectful to our speakers and, of course, to each other. Please don't interrupt speakers while they're talking. And if you have any questions, so please write them in the chat box immediately, because all questions will be answered during the question and answer section. In case of our objectives and your outcomes, during today's meeting, you will know about the iatefl organization and its benefits. You will expand your knowledge about the iatefl conference with our speakers. You will understand how to apply for a scholarship, and at the end of our meeting, you will be able to apply for the conference on your own, which is also really great. Okay, so I'm going to start. Я бы хотела начать пока на русском языке. So, Kat, I would like to start in Russian, and then I think it will be really great if you continue in English, okay?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. Итак, организация, про которую мы сегодня будем говорить, называется iatefl, International Association of Teachers of English as a Foreign Language, которая в течение 50 лет объединяет, занимается развитием и поддержкой учителей английского языка по всему миру. Она была основана в 1967 году просто как форум, где профессионалы могли делиться друг с другом своими идеями, а сейчас они являются одной из самых известных и крупных ассоциаций по всему миру. Сразу хотелось бы отметить два приятных пункта у данной ассоциации. Первое, у данной ассоциации имеется членство, и вы сразу можете стать частью такой вот международной организации, где вы будете полностью вовлечены во всю их деятельность. Следующим приятным моментом является то, что у iatefl имеются свои, скажем так, подассоциации, то есть представители практически по всему миру. Так что если вы пока не можете стать частью официальной ассоциации, вы можете начать с местной. Окей. Следующее, я бы хотела, чтобы мы перешли к рубрике, что именно они проводят. На сайте, конечно, представлено больше информации, касающейся их деятельности, но сегодня мы обратим ваше внимание на 3, которые для нас, учителей английского языка, будут наиболее полезными. Это events, special interest groups, jobs and get involved. Я специально взяла эти 2 рубрики в одну, так как их суть примерно одна и та же. Это быть в прямом взаимодействии непосредственно с организацией. По поводу events. Там проводятся различные вебинары и встречи с членами iatefl и со спикерами. Special interest group — это, во-первых, их существует 16, и чем они интересны? Тем, что они являются незаменимой вещью для тех, кто хочет сузить свои навыки. При вступлении в ассоциацию один SIG, то есть это аббревиатура, да, на русском, идет бесплатным, но если вы хотите вступить в еще один, это будет уже платно, это 23 фунта, около 12 тысяч тенге, 12 чем-то тысяч тенге. По поводу events, знаете, хотелось бы сразу отметить тот факт, что у них изменилась немного политика получения сертификатов. Теперь только члены того Special Interest Group, который проводит мероприятие, могут получить сертификат. Сейчас мы чуть-чуть позже поговорим об ивентах. Хотела бы сказать по поводу Jobs and Get Involved. То есть здесь есть Job Market, где вы непосредственно можете подать на какую-то определенную работу. В плане Get Involved это быть членом ассоциации, быть волонтером, определенные пожертвования давать и submitting your papers. Это касается больше научных сотрудников, тех, кто хочет быть там. Теперь по поводу events. Смотрите, я привела такой вот пример самого сайта, чтобы не терять время. Я уже сделала скриншоты. Вот данное мероприятие будет проходить у нас 30 мая по времени UK. И вот обратите тот момент, что free certificates, то есть бесплатные сертификаты, будут получены только вот членами данного сообщества. То есть здесь есть определенный момент, что либо вы будете доплачивать за сертификат, либо вы его можете, например, не получить. Но в принципе вы можете просто на нем присутствовать. По поводу вот данной special interest group, здесь идет вот об этом речь. В принципе, если вам это интересно, конечно, вы можете вступить и быть частью не только iatefl, но и, например, данного сообщества. So, that's all about introduction to iatefl organization and our special interest group. And now I would like to take the floor our Caterina, please, could you continue?
Sure. Thank you very much. What I would like, if possible, I would like to share my screen, and I would like to apologize because I'm going to repeat some of the information you gave in Russian. I'm going to repeat it in English. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
All right. So what I'm going to stress in this talk is the I in iatefl, the international scope of the iatefl. However, I understand that as a teacher, I understand that there is no better time to ask a question than when it pops up in your mind. And I think we'll benefit a lot more if we turn this into a discussion rather than a presentation. So if you do have a question while I'm speaking, and it's I'm not going to be speaking long, just raise the hand or type the question in the chat, and Julia is going to help me. I don't mind going back and forth if you don't mind. So while I was thinking about this invitation to participate in your meeting, and in my mind thanking Julia for this invitation, I thought, what would make someone want to join an international association for ELT professionals if there are so many local associations which are a lot closer to a practitioner, a teacher, or even, an academician or a researcher. What does the iatefl as an association offer to professionals worldwide? So this is the question I'm going to try to answer. There's one more thing I would like to add. I will share this presentation with the links with you. So, don't worry about taking notes unless your notes pertain to questions you have to ask or you would like to ask. So some facts about the association. One reason why you may decide to join the iatefl, in addition to a local association you have already joined, is that this association is over 50 years old, which means in all this time there is an accumulated not only experience but also knowledge base and expertise that is shared in multiple ways with the members. As Julia mentioned earlier, this is an association that comprises 16 special interest groups, 16 SIGs. And the reason for this is that, not all ELT professionals specialize in everything. So you may decide to join the association because of its business English SIG if you are working as a business English teacher. I'm just mentioning this because it's our biggest SIG. It has the largest, the highest number of members, but also there are other SIGs like the English 2, speakers of other languages, English for specific purposes, global issues, inclusive practices, which is a really interesting SIG because it addresses the issue of teaching all of our learners, regardless of learning needs, but also learning styles. The learner autonomy, the SIG that I'm more active nowadays, learning technology SIG. I volunteered to participate in the LT-SIG committee when the call for volunteers was published, and I was accepted. Literature SIG, if you're teaching literature, materials, writing, pronunciation. The research SIG, a very, very interesting special interest group for researchers, whether these colleagues specialize on action classroom research or research geared towards applied linguistics or language and culture. I'm just speaking off the top of my head. Teacher development SIG, also if you're interested in teacher training and education, there is another special interest group. Testing, evaluation, and assessment, and our young learners, teaching young learners and teenagers SIG. So remember that when you become a member of the iatefl, with your membership fee, or within your membership fee, you are entitled to join one special interest group. If you want to join more than one special interest group, then you have to pay an additional fee. But your membership fee covers membership in the association plus membership in one SIG of your choice. In terms of events, the iatefl organizes one international conference every year. It's usually in April. Last year, it was in May because of the COVID, and the year before, the conference was a virtual conference because of the COVID restrictions. Besides this international conference, there is an array of webinars organized by the iatefl, also organized by the SIGs, and other online activities. So if you want to see what kinds of events are coming up, you can look at the events page of the iatefl, and also search by interest. What else? Another thing the iatefl offers is different types of publications. The original newsletter of the iatefl has been called Voices, iatefl Voices, since 2005. It's an interesting publication that aims at meeting the needs of practitioners more than anything else. It's not an academic journal. It's very, it's full of articles targeting classroom practice. There are all sorts of publications also produced by the SIGs. You can find recorded webinars on the website, which are available to members, and videos as well. So you can look at the resources page of the iatefl for what is available. And as you can see, I have put the links here so that when you access my slideshow, you can access the links as well. Now, in terms of membership, and here I would like to open a parenthesis and say this may be one of the shortcomings. To become a member of the iatefl, you need to apply and pay a membership fee. And because teachers are not the richest people in the world, this membership fee may be, a burden on our budget. There are solutions, of course, because there are different types of memberships. There's a full individual membership, but there are also institutional memberships. So if the institution you're working for decides to buy an institutional membership, then you have access to iatefl resources. You have, membership access through your institution. You may be a student, or an early career teacher. There are all sorts of accommodations. One thing that is true about the iatefl is the iatefl is not just a teachers association. The members of the iatefl are researchers, academicians, practitioners, classroom practitioners, but also teacher educator, curriculum designers, materials developers, also colleagues who specialize in testing and assessment, and publishers, of course. It's a truly international association. So members of the iatefl are from, I think, about 80 different countries. I'm not going to give you an exact membership number. Thousands of ELT professionals decide to join the iatefl. And of course numbers fluctuate, but the members of the iatefl come in the thousands. I'm going to pause a little bit here and ask if there are any questions, if there is anything you would like to discuss. Would you like me to stop sharing my... Yes? I'm sorry, I cannot hear clearly. Could you please speak a little bit closer to your mic?
So, my dear, уважаемые учителя, коллеги, если у вас есть вопросы сейчас касаемо того, что нам сказали, пожалуйста, задавайте, пока есть такая возможность, потому что нам поставили специально на паузу. Или вы можете задать свой вопрос здесь в чат-бокс. Пожалуйста, дайте знать, что вы сейчас что-то печатаете, чтобы мы не перескакивали дальше, не переходили дальше.
So, I can stop sharing my screen if there is something to discuss, or if you would like to continue, Julia, or I can continue with like a few things about my experience of the iatefl as a speaker.
No questions so far, it's clear. Okay, so one of my colleagues told that everything was clear.
Okay, thank
Спасибо,
you.
Marjan. Thank you.
Thank you for that. All right. So should I continue?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. So I'd like to say a few things about iatefl speakers and audiences, because I know while I'm speaking, you are thinking, so is, I know if I join this association, I may well benefit from the people who present at the iatefl conference. But is this for sure? Will I find speakers who address my needs and my own, what I need to continue working and growing as a teacher? And more than anything, if I join this association, will I be able to present my work? And so I would like to stress a few things about who speaks and who the audience is in iatefl events. I'm not only talking about the annual conference. I am also talking about the online events, webinars, or even local events. A number of local events are organized every year in collaboration with associations at the national level. For example, the iatefl might collaborate with iatefl Poland, or with TESOL Italy, or TESOL Malta, local national associations. So in these events, the speakers, but also the audience, are, as I mentioned earlier, from all walks of the ELT world. Some are teaching at the higher education level. A lot of talks are research presentations. If you are conducting research and you would like to present your research results or data, you can definitely find an interested audience. A large number of workshops aiming at practitioners, whether these are teaching practitioners or teacher education practitioners, and curriculum designers and developers. Now, of course, none of us only wears one hat. For example, as teachers, we are all curriculum developers, whether we participate in the design of the curriculum or not. As teachers, we are all materials developers, because even when we have a set course book or set course books, we need to develop the materials there to teach the students and not the course book. Also, administrators, those of us who are interested in how a program is delivered, and quality assurance professionals are speakers and also comprise the audience in iatefl events and publications. Testing and assessment developers. Another question that you may have is, what if all these events are for seasoned professionals, for senior professionals, people who have been in the field for a number of years? I'm just, let's say, a novice teacher. Is the iatefl of interest and of benefit to me? And of course, the answer is yes. I would like you to see just this small screenshot of from the iatefl conference program. I don't know if you can see my screen. So this is a code for every single talk presented in the iatefl. You can see there is a code which group and area the talk addresses. Also, if it is for less experienced audience, for experienced audiences, for teachers who are teaching people, you know, in early year of education, primary teaching, secondary, you know, higher education or adult teaching. So there is something for everyone. And in case you're thinking, you know, okay, so I would like to join the iatefl. I'm ready to make the sacrifice, pay the membership, and present at the conference. I have not presented at the conference before, or I have only presented locally. Is the iatefl for me? Well, there are guidelines for how to put together a proposal and submit. At this time, the proposal for the next conference, the 2024 conference, is not open yet, but you can always you know, see the proposal guidelines, follow the guidelines, follow the procedure, etc., and find out what it is that you need to do in order to be a presenter at the iatefl. What I would advise as an iatefl member and someone who has been a speaker at the iatefl for a number of years is that you do not take my word for it. I advise that you start following the iatefl in social media. I have here links for the iatefl Facebook group, the Instagram, and the Twitter group. These are links to the iatefl groups. However, there are other groups. Each SIG has you know, groups in social media and pages in social media for their own interests and events. So my recommendation is start following the iatefl in social media and see if a truly international association is of benefit to you at this point in your career, and then decide what you would like to do and how you would like to become a member of the iatefl, or take advantage of the free resources until you can join the association at the time when you think you're going to benefit from it the most. And I will say one last thing, and then I'm pretty sure Adrian will elaborate on that. I'm definitely not an expert. For iatefl members are entitled to apply for scholarships, whether these scholarships are for first-time members or for people who have been members of the iatefl for a number of years. So there are opportunities. The important thing is that when you're dealing with iatefl, you get to meet peers, colleagues, like-minded people from every single country and corner of this world. And I would say that this is a benefit when you join a truly international association. You get rich with the wealth of information and insights you get from colleagues who live and work in different countries and different cultures and teaching contexts than we are. For me, the experience as an iatefl member has been invaluable. So I'd like to thank you. I'm not sure there are any questions. Anything that I can answer at this point. I know you need time to wrap your head around all this information I tried to give as briefly as possible. This is the reason why I have this link here. It's a link to the presentation, or you can use your phone and scan this QR code. It will take you to this presentation, and you'll have access to the links of the pages that I have included there. And again, thank you very much for this opportunity to be with you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this amazing presentation. I would like to consolidate everything that you have said briefly, but in Russian, to let my colleagues understand this more. Коллеги, смотрите, эта конференция, она подходит как для учителей английского языка, также и она подходит для академических, то есть, можно сказать, академических специальностей, то есть для профессоров, преподавателей английского языка, которые действительно хотят поделиться своим опытом. А подать свою заявку могут, в принципе, абсолютно все. Там нет никакой restrictions, то есть нет никаких ограничений в плане возраста, в плане вашего статуса, вашей профессии. Самое главное — это действительно соответствовать определенным правилам, которые имеются на самом сайте. Но также есть официальный YouTube-канал, он называется iatefl Talks. И там есть 2 видео, которые действительно стоит посмотреть. В общей сложности они идут около часа, может быть, час с чем-то. И там прям детально дается о том, как подавать на speaker proposal. Оно действительно того стоит, поэтому, пожалуйста, потом follow the links, да, и если у вас какие-то есть вопросы, вы можете без проблем обращаться ко мне, потому что я на данный момент также являюсь членом сообщества iatefl. Okay, so thank you. Now I think that we all would like to know more about the scholarships and how to get successful, how to apply for successful scholarships. So please.
Yep, okay. I'm going to share my screen. I've got a short presentation.
Okay.
Okay, can you see that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Play from the start. Okay. So a very short presentation about how to submit a scholarship application, and I'll try and give as much information as I can. So the first thing to say is that scholarships are not just for people from developing countries, they're for everybody. So we get scholarship applications from all over the world, but people often think that they're only for people from countries like Nepal or India or Cuba, which isn't true. Anybody can apply for scholarships. And I show you a couple of posters of past winners. So here are the post and winners, and you'll be able to see that they did all around the world. You know, you've got somebody from Canada, Pakistan, Hong Kong, Brazil, Poland, so literally anywhere, Iran, anywhere around the world. The tendency is that certain countries have a lot more scholarships. I think that's partly due to them being more aware of opportunity. Now, next to the scholarships, to apply for a scholarship, you need to go to the iatefl website, which Caterina has already shared with you. And the easiest way, I think, is to go there and just type in scholarships in the search engine, and it will come up with your page and a link to the scholarships there. The first thing is the scholarships page will give you information about the different scholarships that are available. There are different ones each year. Some of them are the same every year. Here, there's an iatefl first-time speaker scholarship. So if you've not spoken before at the conference, that might be one that you'd be interested in applying for. Most years, there's about 25 to 30 scholarships that are available. When the 50th anniversary came up, we managed to get 51 scholarships that year, but that's very unusual. Now, the first thing is you can look at the scholarships, you can look at the list, but you don't really know exactly what they mean. You'll notice that some of them, for example, there's an iatefl LAMSIG scholarship. That, of course, is for the special interest groups. So quite a few of the special interest groups offer scholarships. You'll also notice, for example, here, there's one that says Latin America. So that, or the Africa one at the beginning. So those obviously would only be available to people who are from or live in those areas of the world. The first thing to do then is to click on a scholarship and have a look at exactly what it entails. The information at the beginning is usually about the type of scholarship, where it's from, why it's got the name it has sometimes. Then the next section tells you about what the award consists of. And this is very important because it will also tell you about the amount of money. And I think that would be something that would be very important to think about. I would say, I don't live in the UK now, and I would say that it cost me, Caterina might be able to say a little bit more about this as well, it cost me about £1,500 to go to the conference itself. That includes the airfare, accommodation, food, and so on. So it's not particularly cheap. So, for example, this scholarship with £750 would only give me half the money I would need. The next thing it tells you, I mean, this award, though, it gives you the registration for the conference. It gives you registration for a pre-conference event. So that's already going to take £300 off the cost. It gives you a year's iatefl membership, which is approximately about £100, I think now.
Yeah.
The next thing on the scholarships is it tells you what you need to, the requirements that you have to qualify for the award. And this can be important. I'll show you on the next slide why. And then it tells you what you need to be considered for the scholarship, and I'll give you a little bit more information about that. One important thing to know that this year the submission deadline is the 21st of June, so it's about 3.5 weeks time. That's not a lot of time. The reason for that is that we get around about 800 to 1,000 applications across the scholarships, and they have to be read and winners selected. Here, for example, is the Latin American scholarship, and you'll notice that, for example, you need to be a native of and normally resident in a Latin American country. So that wouldn't apply for somebody from Kazakhstan. I've been reading the scholarship applications now for about 10 years, and the first thing I always do is look at what the qualifications are for the scholarship and weed out the ones that don't qualify. And you would be surprised the number of times I get, if I'm reading, for example, I used to read for the Africa Scholarship, and to get applications from people from China. So I'm going to stop reading. I don't even bother reading any further. So it's very important to read what you need to qualify for that scholarship. There's a range. There are scholarships that are applicable, for example, for people who are involved in assessment and testing or teacher training. So it's very important to have a look and think about those kind of scholarships that would be useful. Here's one, for example, which is for the following countries: Hong Kong, India, Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, Sri Lanka, and Thailand. So again, not available for people from Kazakhstan, but you'll see here the money is much more generous, and the reason for that is because the cost of traveling from these countries to the UK can be quite expensive. You also have to factor in things like the cost of getting your visa, and visa applications are not particularly cheap. And for example, if you're in Kazakhstan, I believe there were 2 centres that you could go to, one in Almaty and one in Astana. So if you live somewhere outside of those 2 locations, you're going to have to factor in the cost of travelling into Astana or Almaty in order to get your biometrics done for your visa application. Visa applications can only be made 3 months prior to the conference. So that normally means that you're putting your application in the middle of January. It's important to get it in on time, as quickly as possible, because it can take quite a long time for them to be processed. When you've gone through and decided, okay, I want to apply for this scholarship. Oh, and let me go back. For example, what you must do, or so on. Some of the scholarships ask you to do a presentation at the conference, to be a speaker. Some of them don't. So again, you have to decide if you want to speak. Maybe this is the one that I'd go for. So you fill in your scholarship application, and I would say that the most important part of this really is the future plans for development. That's the part the readers are very interested in reading and finding out more about. And yeah, I think that's everything really about the scholarships. Of course, people may have questions, so I'll stop sharing my screen. The most important thing I think as well about scholarships to think about is most of the people who've won scholarships in the past have said, I never thought I'd win. But you can't win if you don't apply. The other thing to think about is thinking a little bit about the scholarships you might be interested in. Often the ones that are sponsored by publishers are quite popular. So, for example, the Macmillan Scholarship in the past has had anything up to 280 applications, and there's only one winner. Whereas quite a few of the iatefl scholarships, including the ones for SIGs, the numbers of people applying can be as low as 10. So the chances of winning there become higher. Okay, so finish the presentation if there's any questions that anyone has got. And also, Julia, if anybody has questions and post them to you later, just send me questions and I'll try and answer them as well.
Okay, thank you. Now I would like to do the same. I would like to consolidate your information in Russian. So, уважаемые коллеги, смотрите, сейчас был рассмотрен вопрос уже касаемо подачи заявок на стипендию. Стипендия связана с тем, что идут дополнительные финансовые затраты, связаны с тем же самым перелетом, визой и, конечно же, связано с самым выступлением, потому что с учетом курса тенге по отношению к фунтам само участие стоит около 700 тысяч тенге, поэтому подача на такую scholarships, оно вам очень сильно поможет сократить определенные финансовые расходы, в частности то, что есть определенные стипендии, где вам могут даже выдать наличку, но, конечно же, все должно относиться, все ваши растраты должны относиться только к конференции. Поэтому, смотрите, если у вас есть сейчас вопросы, вы без проблем можете выключить свой микрофон, задать его или, например, элементарно поблагодарить. Мне кажется, коллегам нашим было бы приятно это услышать. Если же нет, вы можете мне без проблем написать. Я чуть позже могу написать свою почту в чат-бокс здесь, чтобы вы могли мне написать. Я уже непосредственно могла адресовать это нашим сегодняшним спикерам. Поэтому, пожалуйста, если вы готовы, ваши вопросы, мы их слушаем. So anyway, thank you so much for being with us. I gave my colleagues time to think, or at least just to say thank you for your presentations, because that was awesome. Thank you for sharing all these things with us. And of course, I will send all words of appreciation or all questions if you want, of course, if it's not hard for you to answer.
Well, I'd like to thank you all for having us here. It has been great for us. If I may, I'd like to share something that I found when I was looking for information on associations at the national level. So I see here that a colleague joined the last iatefl in Harrogate. Can I just share my screen? Just whoops. Okay. I'm sorry, it's taking so long. There is a delay, and I'm trying to find the window that was open. Okay, just give me 1 second. I think, whoops. Can you see my screen here?
Not yet.
No? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So there was a presentation from Kazakhstan in the iatefl conference in Harrogate, and that's from Kaz IoT. The reason why I'm not sure how whether you're aware of all of this, but what I'm trying to say is, you know, there are opportunities, and what all of iatefl members would be interested in is get in touch with colleagues from all over the world. Some countries are overrepresented and some countries are underrepresented. What I can say as someone who's been a member of international associations for more years than I care to remember is all we have is each other. There's no better way for us to advance as ELT professionals, and we cannot spare any of us. We all learn together, regardless of age, experience, educational background, cultural background. We all have knowledge to share. So
that was impressive. Yeah, right you are, of course. Thank you. And I think I've heard about this association, but for me that was too late to join that because I'm already a member of, let's say, official associations.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
So I see that we have no more questions. Just Marjan told that she had subscribed to your Instagram just now, so thank you a lot. I will check the website too.
Actually, one thing that I forgot, I have not put a link, but if you go to YouTube and you look for channels, there are different iatefl channels on YouTube. For example, the Young Learners SIG has a wonderful channel, and they upload all their workshops and talks from events they organize. They organized a wonderful 2.5-day online conference was it February, Adrian? And I'm not a member of the Young Learners SIG anymore because it's been a while since I taught young learners, but I did participate and attend that online event. It was really impressive. It reminded me of why I wanted to be an iatefl member in the first place. So, as I said earlier, I cannot stress it enough. Follow iatefl on social media. Get to know as much as possible about the work done, and continue, make a decision on whether you would like to become a member or not, apply for scholarships, etc. And also keep on putting pressure to your institutions to get institutional membership so that you can all benefit.
Yeah. That's good. So thank you. Thank you so much for being with us. That was really good to see you. Thank you for spending time sharing information. I'm sure that all my colleagues, let's say, are happy and satisfied with such a fulfilled presentation of all this material. So we don't want to take your time anymore. Just have a good day, evening, and just stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having us. Bye-bye, everybody.
Yeah, bye.
Thank you so much.
See you in another event.
Yes, goodbye, everyone.
Bye.